Delaware County, Indiana is home to one of the state's top emergency management services. Our 911 system coordinates firemen, police officers, and emergency medical personnel across Muncie, Yorktown, Selma, Gaston, Cowan, and Eaton.
When someone calls 911, the 911 operator will answer the phone and ask what your emergency is, and then start immediately locating where you're calling from. Even as they're still asking questions, the call will go out to the emergency services and we'll get those fire trucks, police cars, ambulances en route to that scene and that location that they're calling from immediately.
I think what makes our emergency services here in Delaware County stand out so tremendously is how well trained they are.
Delaware County paramedics and EMTs are among the best trained in the state of Indiana. They follow strict protocols to ensure the health and safety of patients.
My philosophy and my vision is if the medics know that they need to do something, why are they wasting time calling me? So the way I looked at it is get the emergency department, what I can teach these guys, bring it out to the pre-hospital setting. Lots of people that have done well, have survived, and they're back to see their families. If it wasn't for the protocols, outcomes would have been markedly different.
Our emergency medical personnel are trained to use cutting-edge medications. Unique in the state of Indiana, these medications save lives.
As far as this ambulance service specifically goes, we have a really aggressive medical director that lets us as paramedics do almost all the stuff that we learn how to do in school. I think the last time I counted all these, we carry right around 42 different medications. We carry a medication called cardizem, which is for atrial fibrillation. It's a irregular heartbeat. We have a sedative called Haldol that a lot of places, a lot of emergency rooms only use.
As of this year, we're starting to use TXA, which is tranexamic acid.
Only us and maybe 3 or 4 other ambulance services in the whole state actually carry TXA. It recently has come out of several different military medical trials to show that it helps immensely if someone's got massive blood loss and is going into shock. We can actually promote the clotting in their body to help get them to a trauma surgeon and increase their chances of survival.
While rare, incidents involving mass casualties can strain inadequately prepared systems. In Delaware County, emergency management can utilize specially trained units and equipment to help multiple patients at once.
Mass casualty incidences do happen. We look back at the state fair in Indianapolis, and so we have a mass casualty unit.
If there's a lot of casualties, we can deploy medics that, again, are trained and treat up to 300. We have the decon team. They're all certified decon and hazmat, and they have partnered with the hospital, IU Health.
We can set up a decon corridor here and completely clean them off and then set them up to be transported into the hospital by ambulance.
In certain cases, area police forces are called upon, including the Muncie and Yorktown police departments. On public properties such as Prairie Creek, emergency management relies on Indiana conservation officers for law enforcement.
As an Indiana conservation officer, we are full law enforcement officers. We focus on such duties as hunting, fishing, boating, ATVs, off-road vehicles. A lot of times when we're dealing with fishing, we're on the water with our boats, we're dealing with other people's boats, we're checking for safety violations, life jackets, speed, lighting. A patrol boat is not just for fishing checks. It's kind of like a police car on the roadway. That's what our patrol boats are for. We are out here for safety reasons. An ATV comes in handy. It allows you to get in smaller areas quicker than you would be able to if you're walking on foot. Our K9 unit, it's a great asset to the department. We use it for lost subjects, say it be a child that's lost in the woods or an elderly person that's lost in the woods. We can quickly locate a person with our K9 unit and render aid if needed. Airboats we usually use in emergency situations like rescue type situations when you have a flood or something like that. The airboat is very versatile. You can go on very shallow types of water. You can even take that boat on land if you have to.
Professional and volunteer fire departments are a key part of emergency management. Along with the Muncie Fire Department and many volunteer departments, smaller Delaware County communities like Eaton and Cowan have dedicated fire personnel ready to respond quickly.
Last year was just shy under 600 calls. The average response time right now is 2.5 to 3 minutes. None of us live at the station. We respond from our house or work. We have 3 engines, 2 tankers, a grass rig, and a rescue truck. The grass rig's the vehicle parked behind me. It's a modified pickup truck with a 300-gallon water tank and a trash engine to pump water out at grass fires.
We typically will respond once the tones go off. We have trucks getting out the door with anywhere from 4 to 6 minutes. The primary extrication equipment that we use is the jaws of life. We'll take a pry bar and create an opening, and then we'll use the jaws of life to spread the door and open it so we can remove somebody from a vehicle that might be trapped. We have a light rescue. We run it on mostly medical calls. First of all, we can get it in places we can't get the big fire trucks in. It's got some basic rescue equipment on it as well. And typically on any type of car accident, we will roll that truck with our main engine, which has our extrication equipment as well. And we have 2 fire engines, which are our main firefighting equipment as far as, taking the hose in and putting the fire out.
It's pride. Most of your fire departments, you'll find out, take pride in what they do.
I guess that's always all it's taken for me, is to know that my neighbors need help.
Along with public support, individual donors and philanthropic organizations often assist emergency services.
Ball Brothers Foundation is such an integral part of the services that we work to provide.
In recent years, we've received grants from the Ball Brothers Foundation, and we have purchased a set of stabilization jacks, so if a vehicle's on its side, we can stabilize it better. Within the past couple of weeks, we just received a grant for them to purchase a rescue saw and a chainsaw and a piercing nozzle.
Ball Brothers Foundation gave us a grant for $5,000, which rekeyed every radio we had in our trucks. It also helped us purchase 20 handheld radios.
We turned to our partners at the Ball Foundation, and they provided a rapid grant, and we were able to purchase several defibrillators and start putting them in the Little League diamonds and the concession stands that didn't have them. You don't need any training to use them. If someone were to go down, you open it up and it talks you through the entire process. We've been very fortunate to partner with the Ball Brothers Foundation and put a MedStat unit in. A MedStat is essentially a Polaris ATV 6x6 that is got a small ambulance box on the top of it. And it looks like a miniature ambulance. I don't think it was here very long before it was out in the field, back doing off-road emergency searches for missing persons.
We have a lot of programs in place that will allow families to know that they're as safe as we can possibly make them.
We want excellent care for the patients in this county. We want the best treatment and best outcomes for everybody.
For me, that's giving back to the community. That's making sure that we have the highest standards possible in our emergency responses and that we are coordinated and ready to act in an emergency for our community.
It matters, and at the end of the day, again, it's what brings people to Muncie in Delaware County.
This is one of the safest places in the state to live in.